Hey guys, Joe here, and in today's video we are taking a look at another Rock Island product, and today's product is going to be for when you have a 45 and it just isn't enough. What do? You step up to a 10mm. If you're new to the channel, thanks for checking it out. I really do appreciate it. Maybe consider getting subscribed down below or using my Amazon affiliate links. You'll help the channel grow so that we can actually purchase some stuff like what you're about to check out here. Before we get going, let's safety check it. And to the guy that left me a question, why does everybody safety check? Number one, always assume a gun is loaded regardless of whether it is or not. Number two, safety checking takes literally seconds and it could save someone's life, or at the very least save a wall, your hearing, and the chance that you could accidentally fire through the side of your house and into somebody's car, dog, child, etc. So to that person, safety first. Always assume a gun is loaded. I know it's not, but still, empty, 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 empty. I'm going to go ahead and take this tag off the side here. While I'm doing that, we'll talk real quick. Liberty Arms down in Harrisonburg, Virginia. Go ahead and Google them if you're interested. They're good people. They sell firearms at a very reasonable price. This is the price tag off of this one, and as you can see, $655 with an MSRP of $800. During these fun times we're currently experiencing, they are selling firearms at their normal pricing strategy. They could be doing like some places and gouging on firearms, ammunition, things of that nature, but they choose not to. They choose to be a reasonable price. They choose to be reasonable people. Do me a favor, give them a call, see what they have in stock, tell them what you're looking for, get on the list, all that good stuff. I know there's people like in Michigan and Florida that have contacted the store and they're trying to get some stuff, so thank you. As you can see, this is a ginormous 1911. This is a double stack, and this is a 1911, not a 2011. You can tell the difference between a 2011 and a 1911 mostly in the fact that a 1911 double stack has a fixed grip panel or grip frame that is all one piece. So this whole frame is one piece. As you can see, there is molding lines from when they built this thing, but this is not removable. One of the big differences between this and a 2011. Also, this does not have a full-length dust cover. That's not always required, but it is typical. You will see a full-length dust cover typically with a rail. If you go up here, you'll see a Staccato P, which was a 2011, which will show you the difference. Setting that aside real quick, there you go. Rock Island ships in a regular box. Underneath, you get a gun lock, some pamphlets, gump, all that stuff. This gun came from Davidson's, who is one of the suppliers for the store. Comes with a lifetime replacement guarantee as long as you don't do something yourself to really destroy the firearm, such as smith it yourself. They will cover it for the lifetime of the firearm. You'll also see that you get a little inspection packet. This has 2 spent shells in it. Shows here that model serial number is not filled out on this one because it's up here. Assembled by, sighted by, inspected by, date inspected by, and packed by. It just shows that it was test fired, and will also give you a couple of shells to show you how the primer strike looks and things like that. Let's go ahead and take a look at the firearm now that we are done with the box. Traditional 1911 A1 style, although it does have, oh no, that's just schmutz. Even though this is a double stack configuration, it is a GI style. A little bit different up front because this gun is chambered in 10mm. That's a big boy round. This is a big boy gun. I have larger hands, so it may not look like it's that big, but for a lot of people, this bad boy is a handful to be sure. Comes with a double stack 16 round magazine, so you get 16 rounds of 10mm. I have to double check, and I'll put it down here in the comments whether or not it's rated for the high speed 10mm stuff. Sorry, for some reason my brain stopped. It's very early in the morning. Things like the Underwood ammo, the extreme penetrator rounds, things like that. I'll see if this thing's rated for it. I know some guns cannot handle that super hot ammo. I want to double check on this one. Has very nice grip panels on it. They appear to be a G10 material. Black, just like the entire gun itself. Very thin because of the double stack configuration. They wanted to make sure that it didn't stick out way too far. It has a fully adjustable LPA rear sight, which is very cool to see. So you have both elevation and windage adjustability. It is a 3-dot sight arrangement with a fiber optic in the front, as you can see there. Nice orange fiber optic up front for easy sight acquisition. I will admit though, I prefer a green dot up front. My eye tracks a green dot a little bit easier. Individual tastes may vary, but this being the TAC 2 version of it gets the fiber optic sight. The original TAC Ultra didn't have a fiber optic front sight. This has a generous magwell on it, and it is a metal, probably aluminum or aluminium depending on where you live, magwell on it. So as you can see, the magazines are made in Italy, and yes, it says 40 Smith & Wesson, but this is in fact a 10mm pistol. 10mm and 40 Smith & Wesson have the same size casing on them, so 40 is just a slightly depowered 10mm, but this holds 10mm rounds. I don't know why it's stamped 40 S&W, because this is clearly a 10mm firearm. Of course, I'm going to double check the serial number just to make sure. Yep, 10mm firearm. Armscor is based out of the Philippines, and Armscor makes more 1911s in more configurations than any other manufacturer in the world, period. There's no question about it. There's no competition about it. Some people think it's Colt. Some people think it's Springfield. Some people think it's SIG. No. Rock Island makes more 1911s than anybody in the world. They have the Baby Rock. They have that mini double stack 45. They have the standard GI. They have the A1, the TAC Ultra. They have a 6-inch slide one. They used to have a 7-inch, like super custom one, but 6 inches is the longest one they have. They have them in 38 Super, 9mm, 45, 40 Smith & Wesson, 22 TCM, which is their own proprietary cartridge, and they also do conversions for Glocks for the 22 TCM. So yes, Rock Island, it's out of the Philippines, but they make a damn fine pistol. Yes, they use a lot of MIM parts, metal injection molding. That's basically where it's, you know, two pieces. It looks just like plastic. A lot of times they'll have little molding lines in them, but you can get over that because they only use that in parts that are non-structural. I've had nothing but good luck with my Rock Islands. I do know that just like with any product, there could be one or two bad ones out there, but for my personal experiences, I've never had a bad experience with the Rock Island. Leave me down in the comments what you've had. I know there's some people that said they've had some where like the ejector isn't any good and things like that, but again, personally, never had an issue with them. Looking at it, you can see that it does have a generous beaver tail. This is the extended style, which a lot of newer upgraded 1911s tend to have. It has an ambi safety, and just like that Kimber we looked at, it looks like Rock Island has learned their lesson, because my previous one had dual-sided that were exactly the same size. It looks like they've gone to a slightly narrower offside safety. Just makes it easier to get a full grip, especially in a double stack, because sometimes on the earlier models the full-size ambi safety would catch right here on my hand and I wouldn't be able to engage or disengage it properly. But this one works very well, definite, and you can hear it. Adjustable skeletonized trigger. That stop there will adjust how far it goes back. It's all the way out, so you're going to have more travel in the trigger. If it was all the way in, the trigger would stop sooner. Standard 1911 style slide lock slide release, and nothing on this side because 1911s by their nature are not ambidextrous. It does have a standard style slide serrations here, and Rock Island thankfully a few years ago went to this small billboard back here underneath the rear sight. They used to have a huge billboard that went down the side of the slide that said Rock Island. It was basically that, but across the entire side of the slide. They heard people say no, and they listened, and they no longer do that. This one is a bushingless system. It has just the plunger there, and then the barrel is kind of held in place. You can see it a little bit there, especially in the light right there. That piece you'll see when we open it up, it's coming in from the back. It doesn't go into the front and twist in like a standard 1911. Trigger pull. This is still a single action only, even though it is a ginormous fat boy. It is a standard 1911 yoke style single action only trigger. When you pull the trigger, it goes very easily. Check out the trigger pull again. There's the wall because the adjuster's all the way out, and then that's it. It's probably a 4-pound trigger. Not the lightest I've ever fired, but it's definitely not the worst 1911 trigger I've ever used. Reset is boom, right there. Tactile, audible, right into the next shot, and there you go. I'll be honest with you, if I hadn't bought something else recently, I would probably be buying this one, although the cost of 10mm ammunition right now, ammunition, he just said ammunition. Put that one in your pipe and smoke it. Ammunition right now is so expensive, especially 10mm and 45, that it would hurt to buy this gun right now. Check out the last range video where we shot a 45 and went through like $100 of an ammo in just 3 boxes. It was quite sadness. This gun is going to be a little bit more complicated than your standard 1911 to take apart because of that front retention style that this gun uses, which is very similar to the STI race guns. What you're going to need to do is go ahead and lock the slide back, and you will see I don't have the right tool with me. I thought I had it in my iFixit kit, but it turns out I don't. You could also use a paper clip, a stiff paper clip, but there is a small hole on top of the guide rod here that you need to get a paper clip down into to hold the spring compressed inside of the slide, because without it the spring will decompress or become elongated again, at which point you will not be able to pop the top off. It's a little annoying because I wanted to take it apart to show you how big the barrel is, but we can do that by simply pulling this back. You will see that it's kind of a little bit of a cone shape. It's just so that it fits more flush inside of the slide. This one's finished in black or blued finish. It is a Parkerized finish. I did pop the top off because I forgot about the slide situation and took a look inside of it. It's nicely finished, Series 70 style internals, and it is overall put together well. You will hear that even from the factory, it's fairly smooth. I have praised these guns for being quite shootable once you've tuned them a little bit, and I'm assuming this gun will be no different. When I say it needs a little bit of tuning, it may not even. A good lube can take care of a lot of the drag issues that some of these lower end 1911s can experience. This particular one is probably smoother than some I've heard, but if it was my personal firearm, I would actually take the Parkerization off the bottom of the slide and the inside of the frame rails. There's enough tolerances left that taking off that maybe 1/1000th of an inch may allow the gun to be a little bit smoother and cycle a little bit easier, especially when the gun gets dirty. Lube up your guns really well, but still, if you are capable of it, I highly suggest removing the Parkerization off the rails. Keep in mind that will void your warranty though, so make sure you know your 1911s and you're willing to work on it yourself. So that is the 10mm Rock Island 1911 double stack 16+1 firearm, and I think it's a pretty cool piece. I've messed around with the single stack. I think the single stack is a good choice as well. The double stack, you do need a little bit of a hand to contain it, but for me, larger size hands, it actually falls to hand really well. But the single stack may do you even better. If you like this video, maybe go ahead and give me one of those big old thumbs up. Yes, I didn't take it apart, and I apologize about that. I'll have to show you guys how to properly take apart one of these, or a 2011 or a race gun. I will do that once I get a tool that I'm needing for it. Otherwise, that's it. Harrisonburg, Virginia, Liberty Arms. Google it, call the store, say, hey man, the Jiminy Show said I should check you guys out. I'm working with another sister store, possibly on getting some stuff from them as well. I'll let you know what comes from that hopeful collaboration in the future. But check them out if you want to buy something like this. This one, as of today when you're seeing this, is still available. Don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. The next video after this will be on a firearm that I personally purchased just to check out, and I think it's a pretty cool piece, and you'll want to come back for that. So tune in, get notified, hit the bell, all that good jazz down there. And, as always, I'll talk to you later.